I once had somebody actually like reported a spam on a phone, like to the carrier, and then he was having trouble with his phone because he was showing up as spam response.
Well,
Because of this? That is awesome.
Somebody in the office reported the spam.
Oh, great.
Oh, you can't.
Shouldn't have to. We are all training right now. I got David on the phone right now. He says you need a meeting passcode.
No, we don't do that.
You don't do that. So if you do it, the internet.
And he can't get on.
Click the link from this morning.
Right there. Right. Whenever you actually log on to the training. But if you copy the link, it does ask for a passcode, but you hit. The newsletter.
He sent it to He sent one out yesterday.
Jessica sent one out yesterday. So this was in there,
Are you on it?
Tyler's thing was on there.
Is that the day to make a password? Now you're on
You gave it?
No, you're good.
We got a team member here. Right there.
Oh, you're on mute.
You're muted, David.
I just had to hang on my phone. He'll figure it out.
You sure?
Yeah, eventually. He'll come around.
Could someone tell Linda Bess that we're okay? Because she just tried calling me twice.
I got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are these all the oh my god, dude, that damn owl does not need to show the front screen. I see myself even bigger.
Just have it,
I didn't get on.
put it on Crave it. Oh, that's on me. Hey.
Having it on Sandy is much better than having it on me.
Okay, I'll get the owl, I'll fix that in a second, David, sorry. Let me try to get your face on the screen. I'll pin you, so all we see is you.
Right,
So-
but Albie just told me that Jan can't get in either. She called her parent.
If they're copying the link, it's not working, but.
Yeah, if people are trying to get in through the newsletter, that's where I got hit with having to put in a passcode.
Yeah, there's an email that went out yesterday that should probably be.
Yeah. That's,
From the
yeah.
email?
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, Harry.
Well, this is fun. This goes well with the oral surgery I had this morning.
Oh, no.
How's that for everybody?
That'll work.
Okay. I'm gonna give you my phone, so I can stop the owl.
We have 7 others in this room, Dave.
God, I don't get car sick. That owl's just moving around all over the place.
Oh, I know. I noticed that the other day. I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, well, I'm guessing what's occurring is that a lot of people cannot get in because that's what Linda Bess is on the phone about.
That is correct. And I just got Jan Harwood in. Hey, Jan.
Okay.
Dan's coming.
There she is. I don't need to text her.
He's right there.
Thank you, Linda Bess. I was using the code from the newsletter this week is what I went through, and then Cam told me to go in through the intranet, and that worked.
I just got in through the intranet as well. And I sent
Yeah.
that to Jan. So if anybody else calls, since I'm the friendly greeter today, I will let everybody know that I can send it to them.
Okay.
And then
all
it
right.
might have just been me because I'm a flake when it comes to technology.
No. I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing. So I get it. I get it. I was just trying to go through there. So
Thanks,
Okay.
LB.
yes, thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm the problem solver.
So okay,
Troubleshooter.
guys. There may not, I can always teach this again, 100 times over, so it's no big deal, whatsoever. On there, let me get the gallery up so I can see that. So what I wanted to talk today, and I've talked about it a little bit before. Well, before I get into it, how is everyone doing? It's mid-November, October, is what Matt Kugelin told me the other day was not a great month for them. How was it? How's it been going for you guys?
Well,
I
for
had
me,
good-
I'm starting to pick up.
Are you okay? Good,
I had a
good.
good November, but everything's like beyond completely unemployed.
I mean, hopefully this collapse in mortgage rates will help us out to do it, but take advantage of it, because you have to remember every time the mortgage rates, I think, drop about a point or up to a point, it adds 3 to 4 million potential buyers back into the market. So you need to, take advantage of it while we can and keep that consistency going through, the holidays, in doing that.
I
So
mean,
hopefully
rates are thin margins there.
the what?
I was just gonna say, at one point brings 1 million people back in, those are some razor thin margins of what makes a deal work and not work, right? Just
Yeah.
one point.
It's
will do
actually
that.
it's actually 3 million. And
Three.
yeah,
Wow.
3 million. And but still, I mean, you have to remember is that a lot of people, they're carrying higher credit card debt, things of that sort, and that all goes toward your DTI, and that makes deals, a bit harder, to work with
Yeah.
on there. And I'm going to do a plug for Shelter for a second. I had a deal where they had to compete, where they're really determined to make deals happen. We're under contract on a house in Brazelton where they were competing against Morgan Stanley, and this was when rates were up around 7 5/8. Morgan Stanley was quoting 6.99, but with a buy down, and it was really tough for Shelter to meet that, but they would not let go of the deal, and they beat out Morgan Stanley and another lender to get that deal. That's how determined they are to do business for us with that. So take that and put it in your cap. So as far as that goes. So
Marketing
you know,
materials too.
pardon?
I was just thinking if Shelter with or Onward, right, with these dropping rates and some of the programs they have, maybe some type of a marketing material that we could blast out would be really helpful.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that they've got a program where you can go back in, let's say, in the next year and refinance, and I think there's a $1,500 lender credit, to go
They
back and
actually,
refi.
they
Um,
actually have, they
there's
actually,
in the Fannie, I think it's in the Fannie Mae system. If and I would need to go back and double check to make sure that they're still applicable. But in the Fannie Mae system, if it's a first time home buyer, there's a $3,000 lender credit that they can get. Freddie Mac, you can't, because the reason why I know that is because Inspire, they were doing renovations, literally only a month away from finishing the renovations, and with that, it knocked them out of the Fannie Mae program, and we couldn't take advantage of that $3,000 credit. I mean, it's weird little rules like that, that occur on that kind of stuff. So, but right now, today is November 15th. Today is the day that realtors start taking off for the holidays. And, you just don't want to do that. I can give you example after example after example of people who quit working around this time. Excuse me for a second. Jax, stop eating. My dog is on the balcony eating dirt. So, it, you don't want to be one of those guys because you want your first quarter to be strong. You don't want to lax off on that because it builds the momentum for the rest of the year. Before we go into the subject of farming, is there anything that's on anyone's mind that they want to ask about or talk about?
So, this is Kathy. I'm still new, about 3 months in, and I've been fortunate enough to host some open houses. But I'm having, I don't know if it's market, it's just me, the the difficulty of getting people to engage with me after the open house. I don't have any problems getting their contact information, and cooperation like that. And I feel like I connect with them, but I can't seem to convince them to have an ongoing conversation about maybe other homes. So if there's any tidbits, ways that I can explain to them I'm a realtor for all locations, not just that open house.
Guys, do y'all have any opinions? Or is Matt too deep into his computer?
Just, Kathy, just keep communicating with them, because, it's all a matter of that, keep communicating with them, that something, if you stop, they'll move on to someone else, but if you keep working with them and communicating with them, eventually, are you sending them anything in terms of other houses or anything along those lines? I mean, by the way, we all have that problem with people ghosting us.
So I've just started doing that. And yesterday I finally found in the command where you could put in like saved listings and send them an email of a area, right? An area where they are close to where the open house was. So I'm learning more about what command can do to keep in touch with them. But yes, yesterday I spent the day trying to find things similar to the house. And it just struck me to send them the, anyway, similar things. But I've had 2 to respond out of maybe 12. And I'm just wondering.
And to be honest with you, that's great. Open houses are, they're not a low-hanging fruit, but that's not the right phrase to use for it. But I look at open houses from 2 points of view. Number one is the possibility to be able to get business, which it can, and you have to sort of build that rapport when they're at the open house. That's the first step, is to do it actually at the open house. The second part of it, I look at it as skill building for being able to talk to people, or I jokingly say learning how to be able to talk to a fence post, where you can just drum up a conversation out of the blue with someone you've never met before and be able to have that beginning conversation with that. So I would look at open houses a little bit more as both. The other thing to do, which we were talking about in Bold yesterday, and I really do think people should do this on open houses more, is to do a 10 by 10 by 10. Do you guys know what I mean by that?
Knocking the doors.
Yeah, knocking the doors, 10 across, 10 to the right, 10 to the left, and inviting the people there, getting to know them, things of that nature. That's all part of it. But the thing is, what I don't want you to be is discouraged with it, because I've sold a house in Neely Farm that came off of an open house in Fox Hill down East Jonesbridge Road. I've sold an actual open house in Brookhaven for John and Susan that was over $1 million back in 08, 09. And that took me sitting in open houses for 6 weekends in a row at that house to do that. So it is, I would just try to look at it from a chance to be able to build business, but also, and you got to remember, those names that you're getting are building into your database.
Yes.
You have to make sure that you're adding them to your database, not just taking them.
Yes.
In there. And that's, it's an old saying, but you have to look at your database as a living animal, and that's how you feed it, to do that. And there's a lot to be said for that.
Right. So also it segue to this farming. When would you consider them somebody to go into the database? If you've had a meaningful conversation, or if you're going to have a follow-up appointment, when are they truly met, I guess?
Anyone who gives you their contact information and gives you an email address and maybe a phone number and their name, the ability to be able to contact them and communicate them to them in some type of medium, that's when they go in their database.
Okay.
Or it goes into the database. You want to build that thing. There was a couple of years ago, it was a couple years ago, they sort of dropped the thinking, but I still think that there's merit to it about building these databases and just having tons of them. For myself, what I'm doing is I'm going in and adding to my regular database, and I can be better about it also. Let's fully state that I am not the expert on that. But what I'm doing also is I'm building an agent referral database also. Think about all the agents that we talk to, and this is where the advantage of going to family reunion, going to mega camp, going to networking events in Atlanta, because not everyone services all of Atlanta, that you go in there and put information in there. So it's constantly building in there. But I mean, as long as they're breathing and they give you an email address, they go into the database.
Okay, thank you. I'm a big proponent of that productivity, truly effective. And so I'm trying to transition my mind to those soft Mets, like they're not in the market right now, but they may be 2 years from now. So I'm transitioning my mind.
Yeah, it takes a bit. The thing is, you have to break it down into components. I mean, Cam's probably going to roll his eyes because he's heard this 850 times from me, but is that you have to look when you're going out into the public and spreading your name to the public for the people to know about it. There's two types of marketing you can do. You can do proactive marketing or you could do reactive marketing, is what I call it. Proactive is talking, going to networking events, going to neighborhood events. Last night I hosted a Friendsgiving dinner in our building and, talking to people. That's proactively going and sending, going out and talking to people, calling expires, calling FISBOs, calling your database. That's all proactive. And then you need to complement it with what I call reactive marketing, which is the which is the postcards, a little, seeds for flowers in the spring to send to somebody, things of that nature. That's reactive marketing. Like next Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, Cam and I are going to go out and deliver pies. And we deliver pies because of the fact that our database is so spread out. And I want to know who really wants one. We're delivering, how many is it, Cam? About 40 of them, something like that.
Yeah.
And out. And that's reactive marketing. That's goodwill marketing. So once you break it out and you have both, think of it like two trains running parallel on a track, then you'll have stuff coming in. And the other part of it you have to look at is, and I was using this sports analogy yesterday and someone walked out on me in bold while I did it. But you have to think about it is that if you were a player for the Braves and you were hitting 250 a year, only one out of every 4 times at bat, you'd be making $8 million a year. But the two things to take away from that is that that's a great percentage. And also that, also you got to keep going up to bat. The old saying with, Wayne Gretzky used to say, I've missed 1,000, all the shots that I haven't taken. Michael Jordan talked about how many baskets he actually missed versus how many he got, how many times he lost a game, things of that sort. You just got to keep going at those things. So, and I really need to get some new material on this. But does that make sense at all?
It does. Maintenance of relationships versus grooming, cultivating. So, my background's agricultural, so that's my perspective, and I appreciate yours about sports.
Yeah. I mean, and talking about, agricultural thing about, think about it. This is a good way to look at it. My family's from South Georgia. Okay. The two things they do is farm and they hunt. Okay. Think about your proactive marketing, calling your database, calling on expires, calling on FISBOs, doing open houses, things of that nature as you're hunting. You're going out deer hunting, sitting up in a stand, or going dove hunting, or walking the woods with the dogs for quail. Then you have to think about your farming, putting out the seed for soybean or cotton or whatever it may be, and watching it grow, and then watching the produce come in off of that because you tended to it. You know,
Right.
that's sort of, okay, I've got new material. Y'all will hear this
Yay.
700 times in the next year. With it. And a lot of it also is when you're connecting to people. This is a great story that happened this week, is that we're fortunate enough to have gotten this listing up in Jasper, Georgia. If anyone needs 32 acres of really pretty land, I've got it available for you now. It is coming out of an estate sale, and there's 4 siblings who own it. And there's 3 sisters and 1 guy. Well, the guy, who I think's my age, I couldn't tell, would not sign the listing until he met me, and he lives up there. And good old country boy. And I grew up in Atlanta, but my roots are either in Europe or in South Georgia. So I showed up in my truck. I had a vest on. I dug deep into my Southern accent. I talked about growing trees and harvesting straw and going dove hunting and stuff like that. The guy absolutely loved me by the end of it. As he put it, he felt a good vibe off of me. You have to learn very quickly, and this is part of neurolinguistics, who your audience is and adjust to it. When I have the same conversation with somebody who is looking at a $800,000 condo in Midtown, unless he brings up hunting to me, absolutely not. I'll be talking instead about going skiing and going skiing in Beaver Creek, or going to go see a play on Broadway or something of that sort, to do that. So you have to learn how to adapt and listen and mirror really fast to who your audience is. And the people who are the most successful in real estate, I've determined, are that go across a broad range of different types of clients, are the ones that can analyze very quickly who their audience is and what their interests are and adapt their personality to that person. It was this thing that my dad was able to. My dad could talk to pipe cutters in a warehouse at 3:30 and have dinner at Bones at 7:30 with the vice president of US Steel and be just as easily able to do it. The people that can do that, Sandy is a great example of someone who can do that. That she can go from selling, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Sandy, you can go from selling a $250,000 townhome to selling a house in St. Ives, and it wouldn't faze you having that conversation either direction.
No.
That's what makes, and show it with the same amount of confidence. That's what makes a successful realtor. Especially on the residential side, to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Like a chameleon.
chameleon.
Yeah, you have to be. You almost have to have this Rolodex of topics that you can talk about, Now, I'll be honest with you, because hunting was my dad's thing, it wasn't my thing, but I went hunting when I was younger. I haven't picked up a shotgun in 25 years. But I can talk to him about going dove hunting Labor Day weekend in Shelby, North Carolina, and getting a big old bruise off of an over and under 12 gauge shotgun, that for some reason would go off at the same time,
Pulling triggers at the same time.
I'm at.
Two
Yeah,
triggers
it
pulling
wouldn't
at the
do one
same
at a
time.
time. It would do it at the same time. It looks like somebody beat the crap out of me. But I can talk about that. So you take your experiences and you adapt them to your client, and you do that in an open house already, and you do that through doing leading questions, some of which it sounds like you were doing with some of these people already, to do that. And you'll be amazed at the connections that you can make if you just keep asking the questions. You don't want to be the guy, you don't want to be the realtor. Have y'all talked to someone on the phone when you're calling on a property for a client and the other agent says, yeah, 123 Elm Street's available. Yeah, it's listed at 425. Okay, if you want anything else, give me a call back. And that's it. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be able to say, well, what are they looking for? This is about the house, blah, 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 to create that connection.
Mhm.
That's
Right,
what makes that difference.
It's person-centered, not house-centered. It's person-centered.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I get it. So now talking about this conversation skills, with the farming, I guess you have maybe 2 minutes of an audience. What do we say to get enough interest in just a
Well,
few
you
minutes.
find out what they're like. If they're in an open, if you're in an open house situation, you guys chime in if you think something different or have a different concept. You have to find out really fast, why are they there? And what's their interest in the house, the neighborhood, and then build up. Like if somebody says, you know what, I really want to be in Peachtree Corners, that's why we're looking at the house in River Station. You automatically would roll into, yeah, you know what, this would be my story. Yeah, you know what, that is really is great. I raised my kids here. They went to Simpson, Pickneyville, Norcross, all the way through. I mean, I've seen it grow from where the Forum was a bunch of woods to what's there now. There isn't 30 seconds I've ever questioned, and this is a true statement. 30 seconds I've ever questioned, was this the right place to raise my children? Right there, you do a connectivity to the area to show how great it is. You know, when I talk about down in Midtown, I talk a lot about how you can jump on in my building, you're 2 blocks away from MARTA, go straight down to the train. Or if you're a United fan, you get on the train and you get off right at the Benz, to go to a game. There's all these restaurants in the area. You've got a Publix 2 blocks away. You've got an Ace Hardware, a Starbucks, a Dunkin' Donuts, Truist Bank across the street, all within walking distance of what you are, in Piedmont Park 4 blocks away. You get them interested in not necessarily the unit or the house, but in the concept of living in the area, and that will create. Hopefully, what will occur is you'll generate questions further, and then you can show your expertise about the area.
Okay, sounds
Does
good.
that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why I keep asking is to make sense, because I can ramble on until the sun goes down and back up tomorrow morning. So I just want to make sure I'm not losing anybody, in the conversation. Obviously I lost Matt because he left the room. Okay, y'all want to talk about farming a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. So how many are any of y'all farming your neighborhoods or a neighborhood or community?
I have some. I feel like I could do more, but yeah, I have, David. I've been targeting my neighborhood on some things. But I definitely could do more. So I feel like to adequately farm, you need to kind of touch them pretty consistently.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a game plan. And this is why I'm not to sound egotistical, but I'm qualified to give that topic. I moved into Spire 4 years ago, and then we got hit with a pandemic on top of it. In that 4 years, 4 or so years, my group has done about 12 to $15 million worth of sales volume in the building. And we've sold or leased 35 units that has come out of this building. Not everyone has been in the building, but has been connected or originated from Spire to do that. So it is effective. Does it happen in 14 seconds? Absolutely not. This is that farming concept. That's why it's called farming. But it is effective, and it can move a bit faster than what you think it is. Right now, we've got a listing and 2 lease listings in the building. I have 30% market share over a T12 in units sold, and for 3 years, I've been the #1 transaction agent in the building. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that the theoretical idea of controlling your market or your farm, most people think it's like 75% of the transactions in the unit or in the neighborhood. It isn't. It's actually only 25%. So it's not as undoable as what some people think. Now, what I'm going to give you some mechanical steps to be able to start farming. And where a lot of these come from, I want to make sure I give proper credit. You guys remember Palmer House Properties?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm friends with the founders of that firm, and one of them actually ran Palmer House. The other one was an extremely successful Remax agent for years. His name is Tom Ellicott, and but also extremely successful at Palmer House. And they lived at Lux, which is a luxury tower, more of a boutique building right near Piedmont Park. And one day I was looking at the listings in there, and I realized that Tom had sold in 12 months, he had sold 15 out of 16 listings in the building. So when I moved into Spire, I called him and I said, okay, and he sort of laughed at me. He said, I've done my work. I've spied on you. I know this. How the hell did you do it? And this is what he told me. And then I'm going to tell you what I do along with it. What he told me is, number one, the most important thing is do not join the HOA. Do not be on the board of directors. You don't want to be the guy who delivers bad news or assessments or things of that nature. Okay. What you
Triple
want to
check.
do is you want to finagle your way into being the chairman of the social committee.
Right.
Okay. That's exactly what I've done here. I'm the chairman of the social committee for my building. What actually was an unknown benefit is that when I became chairman, our storage room for the building is on a level called P2. And when you get access to P2, you get access to the whole building. So I can move around the whole building. You normally can't do that. You can't move from floor to floor. But so it makes my life a lot easier. But he was very adamant, get on social committee, be the guy who's handing out drinks or doing events and things of that nature there. The other thing is constantly be sending out stuff in the building or in the neighborhood. So what we do is we do a sales stat card at the top of the month. And Cam, I'm sure that there's some returned ones on Suzanne's desk, or I'm guessing that there is, and maybe you can want to grab it and show it to them. Or if you're awake. If Brian Riggs in that group, they do the cards over for us through Diane Endeavors. And we send that out within the first 3 days of every business month. And I have been on the elevator before and have seen the cards, in people's hands when they get the mail. I've gone on listing appointments and seen it on a stack of stuff, that they have. In addition, in terms of mailings, we send out a holiday card, and then we send out a college football card. Y'all have seen those college football cards.
Yeah, I do that.
Doing around. And being in town, there's a ton of United fans down here. We do send out the United card, their schedule for us. On there. Were there none?
Then she threw them all away, I guess.
Okay.
Or recycling.
Yeah, that's a better thing to say. So we're sending out. The other thing that we send is when we have a listing in the building, we send a listing card out to everybody. And when we have a closing in the building, we send out a closing card, a closing postcard in the building also. So there can be in 1 month, I think 1 month we ended up sending out 5 cards to the building. Now, if you're looking at your mail and you're seeing my ugly mug 5 times, you're still going to remember it for doing that, right?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Okay. But to do it, but at a minimum, if we don't have anything going on in the building, you're at least getting something at the top of the month. In addition to that, in our building, we actually have a Facebook page, and most neighborhoods have a Facebook page. At the top of the month, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you've seen me do like a market stat for Atlanta on there. Once again, say yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we do one specifically for Spire. So that way, now mind you, I've got 3 other realtors, and one of them is a very big realtor in this building, but they have never taken advantage of doing these things. All right. I will do 2.5 times more business in this building than they will this year. Okay. These are clues that I'm giving you, where success is occurring. But at the top of the month, I do a video, 1.5 minutes, something like that, talking about what's going on in the building, talking about what's going on the social committee, and then talking about macroeconomics in the home mortgage, area. And people know that it causes, I have literally picked up a listing talking to somebody in an elevator about that video. So that works. And then the other part of it is, especially if you can be in the social committee, is sponsoring events in there. Last night we had a Friendsgiving in the building, and I sponsored it. It was plastered on placards all over the building. That was McEachern Real Estate Group. And I bought the drinks and I bought the ham and the turkey. And then everyone brought side dishes. And in doing that, I now, when I rarely ever go on the elevator or go out around the building in Midtown and I don't say hi to somebody in the building that knows me now. Now, this took 4 years in a pandemic to be able to do that, but it worked. And the same thing can work in a regular single family subdivision, there. You just have to be in their face. Is, a great example, and Ron Maxwell has the whole map to it, is doing a garage sale twice a year. He does it where he has a map of the neighborhood and the houses. He puts ads in Spanish speaking newspapers, because that's the large population that comes to it. And he puts balloons on every house that's going to be part of the garage sale. And then the day of the garage sale, he goes to every single house, bringing them a donut and saying hi to them and gives them a stack of those maps with all the houses that would be able to give people who are coming to it. And he always gets sales out of that in his neighborhood to do that. That's a perfect thing for that. These are all things, but the trick about it, and Kathy, this is going back a little bit to the point about consistently doing open houses and stuff. You have to consistently do it. You can't do it one time and quit.
Yes, yes, I'm committed to at least a quarter to try to build that database. And then I'll mix in something else. So, I'm not trying to be a super mega, top agent and zoom to the top. I want
that's
to own
Dallas.
well, I know. Well, I mean, and I don't want to put negativity out there. I'm just saying that I want to hone my skills. Be good at what I do before I really try to tackle something else.
Okay, so let's go back to that statement you just said right now. The important thing, and I don't think you're saying this, but I just want to reinforce this. Don't get yourself locked down to thinking, oh, I've got to get box A, box B, and box C in perfect condition before I go out and do something. The way you get box A, B, and C in perfect condition, and they're never in perfect condition, but functional condition, is by going out and doing it. By going out and doing those open houses, by going out and meeting people, by going out and sending mailers, by going out and having Santa Claus at the clubhouse in the neighborhood for Christmas pictures. Like in my building, it would be worthless to do Santa Claus because there's 4 kids in the building.
Right.
But if I were in Peachtree Station, I sure as hell would be doing it.
You're right. My husband fusses that I over prepare. And so some of this is just getting out there and practice as you go.
Yeah, there is absolutely, let me make it very clear. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. I mean, I'm not about to, go in the face of Ben Franklin or anything of that sort, with their sayings on it. But I remember who it is, Craven. So, one of those people. But is that at being prepared isn't going, at the end of the day, being prepared in lieu of going out and talking to people and having conversations with people, that's not going to put money in your wallet. The going out and talking to people and doing it, be it however ineloquent we may be at doing it, that's what's going to put money in your pocket. And that's our objective, is to do that. And what you want to do is you want to be a continuous. Think about golf, and I suck at golf. I look like I'm having a seizure when I play golf. But the thing about golf that thrills people about golf and irritates the living crap about people about golf is you never get your game perfect. You can improve your game and you can get your handicap down and you can get your game down, to a lower stroke count, but you're never going to be perfect at it. And that's the same thing that irritates crap out of them, that they can't get their game perfect. But what you have to look for is improving, and I'm going to use a bold statement here, and I apologize if y'all want to throw something at the screen, but you just want to get 1% better every day. One of the things that I thought was not great about Bold when it first started was they made it sound like you had to turbocharge, and it put so much pressure on people when you were in Bold. And they pulled back off of that, is that you've got to look at it at the long game, is really what you have to look at. And if you look at it as the long game, and have a specific vision of what your business, what you want it to be, you said just a moment ago, is like, you don't, as I'm going to jokingly say this, you don't want to become a Megatron agent. You want to have a good, solid practice.
I
Am I
do.
reading? Okay.
Yes, and like you said, the long term, because I don't want to seem like a scatterbrained and going in 16 different directions and then miss something and just laugh it off. I'm sincerely want to help people find, good deals and good buys and nice homes, and not just throwing paper at people. So, and I know everybody else here is like that too. I'm just saying that for me to build those
Well,
skills, so it's a good transaction for everybody.
Craven's not too much. He's a capitalist, but that's besides the point. I'm kidding. Sort of. For me, it is, I love the art of the creation of the deal. I love for that first conversation to succeed, to hooking them, to working with them on a property, be a listing or buyer, and then closing the deal out. To me, it's taking it from A to Z and doing it professionally.
Right.
That's my thing, is to be able to do that. But the most important thing is for you to figure out, and this time of year is a great time to do it, is what do you want your business to look like if it was running on all 8 cylinders? What you want your business to look like probably isn't the same as what I want mine to look like. And that's totally cool. It took me a while to figure it out. I used to think everyone should be running at 180 miles an hour. That's not always the case. You have to look at what your objective is individually. And once you get there, you do that, but do it with professionalism, with consistency, and with discipline, and you'll get there. That I can promise you.
Right. Good advice.
Sandy's a great example of it. From the time that she first came in our office to now, I mean, she's now on ALC because of those 3 qualities, because of professionalism, consistency, and discipline. That's what got her there. So
we're gonna make her cry.
I know.
Right now. Okay.
Let me come back to you in 45 seconds with some more words.
Yay, Sandy.
So, but
Congratulations. Thank you.
and the other thing is that
I'm gonna cry for other reasons, but
the other thing that I would be doing is watching other people in the market center, like Sandy is a great example. Watch what they're doing in their business that's allowing them to succeed. Figure out who the A players are in the market center and ask them questions. We're happy to, you've asked me a few questions before and stuff. We're happy to answer those questions.
Yes.
To do that. And then apply them, actually apply them, and you'll be good. You'll be good. It's just, the challenge is when you're starting in real estate, and I can say this with an educated opinion, is like watching that stupid train out at Stone Mountain that goes around the mountain. When it leaves that station, the wheels move very slowly at first. And then as the train starts picking up, power and heat, or steam or whatever it is to go, it moves faster and faster. And then they can regulate the speed once they get up to cruising speed. That's how you got to look at a real estate career. without running it off the tracks. So
Oh, I have thoroughly enjoyed this, this community. I would call it a community in the family of Chat North. Everybody's always very helpful. It's my self-conviction that I need to try to convert more. That's where I'm coming from.
yeah, and track your numbers. You know, you'll figure it out, you know, with that. But, you know, if anything, it's that consistency. Is that you can ask Cam. Cam is having his best year ever in real estate this year. And where that has come from, other than me screaming, is he has been definitively more consistent in his work than what he had been previously. And I'm not trying to throw Cam under the bus. I'm praising him actually for that. You know, there has been more of that. I also showed him how he can look at everyone's numbers in the market center, and that's for some reason kicked off a competitive gene in him, which is great to see.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Yes.
how would, other than your local community, right, for facial recognition and that type of thing, do you recommend farming like an area that you're not in? Do you have a criteria for selecting a farm that you're not in
Yes.
to avoid, you know, if some 3 other people are already farming one, you're not going to net out as much. So how do you find those that need to be farmed? Is there a
Okay,
way to
so
do that?
first off, take that thinking of, okay, there's already somebody who controls the neighborhood.
Yeah.
No, but that is actually a rarity that occurs. A living example of that is Kim Adair. Kim Adair lives, she and I used to live in Amberfield behind the forum, and she was actually my next door neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And when Kim got into real estate or came focused more on Peachtree Corners, she was petrified about trying to get business in Amberfield. And she just kept going and going and going at it. And now she is one of the controlling agents in Amberfield. So don't think just because somebody does that you can't go in there and do that. Statistically or numbers wise, what you need to look at is that you want a neighborhood that find out how many units are in that neighborhood or homes or whatever, and make sure that there's about a 10% turnover in the neighborhood. Because if there's less than that, there's not going to be enough business to merit the amount of effort you have to put into farming.
Mm-hmm.
If it's over 30%, that means there's something wrong with the neighborhood and people are fleeing. So you want to look at that's the number one number you want to look at is what your turnover is in that neighborhood. You don't want to overdo how many units you use. You don't really want to go above a 250 person neighbor or house neighborhood. As far as that goes. Because at least for a first one, because it can get to be overwhelming. With me, I'm in a building with 393 units, but we're all very compressed together and it's very singular. So it's easy to do that. You know, it's not like I can knock off the top 6 floors of the building, you know, not involve them.
Right.
You know, as far as that goes. Going back to the video that I was talking about, if it's your neighborhood, talk to the HOA people and see, do they have a Facebook page for the neighborhood? And if they do, can you do a video? I went to the HOA here and said, is it okay if I do that? Our page does not happen to be part of the HOA. So I talked to the administrators and they were okay with it. And this is what kills me is that there were 600 people in our Facebook group in my building. All the realtors in the building are in the building. Not one of them has ever competed against me to get their video on the building. And I also, when I have a listing, I post it on that page also. Now every so often they'll do that. And then what I do also is when it's, let's say 4th of July, I do a posting for 4th of July for the building, you know, or Veterans Day, thanking the veterans in the building, you know, things of that sort. So there's a bunch of little things that you can do. And I will tell you, there were some great videos either on YouTube or inside of kw.com on Agent Mountain that can help you with farming also.
You said Agent Mountain?
Yeah, there's it. If you talk to Sam or Lucy, they can direct you right to it.
All right, thank you.
There are hundreds of videos on hundreds of topics inside of that. So, I mean, you could spend more time learning than you can selling if you really wanted to. And unfortunately, that's what some agents do. They hide behind the education in doing that.
I know, I'm
It
trying to
needs
find the right balance.
well, because I have an opinion on anything, I'll tell you what I think is the right balance is that Cam, I see your face. Is I would say going to team meeting because there's good content and there's good education there, and only go to one other class each week or once every 2 weeks. And that will give you your education. Pick and choose what you want to go to. Don't go to every single thing. All of us need to be on the road or on the phone or on the email or on the text doing our business. And unfortunately, there's a number of agents, and I would never name who they are, that they hide behind the education. It has to be a balance between the two. Now that I said that very positive, affirming life statement, what else can I answer? Or questions or compliments or complaints or whatever?
We're good here.
The what?
That we are good in
Okay.
the room.
Okay.
We're here making our calls for our teams. With a
Yeah, I know
busy-
they laid that right on top of my class. So I'm sure that people are busy doing that stuff.
Probably busy doing neither.
Yeah, no one's here.
Yeah, where
Because
people make us
You just,
We're all on separate.
that stat that you said this morning was like, what, everybody checks out today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you guys, this is a time where if this is where you plant seeds for that first quarter to do that. And please
Yeah,
understand,
right
I'm not saying that from the week of Christmas to go 150 miles an hour. I'm not going to either. But just do your work. Don't hide out because there are other people there are other realtors in the Metro Atlanta area that aren't, and I'm one of them that will take your business
That
because
would
they're
be
not
me.
checking out.
And that would be me because I think this is the absolute best time to follow up with people that, maybe I just presume our relationship's strong enough. I don't have to check in as often. So that's my plan is to double down on those.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
isn't-
talking
I was
to
just gonna
them,
say,
marketing.
It's easy.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, this is the best time to just reconnect with people and not even talk about real estate. Just be top of mind, like, hey, got any
Yeah.
plans? Well, what do you got planned? This is what I got going on. I mean, just conversations in general. And then, at some point you'll mention, obviously, what you do, but this is the time to catch up with like who's got kids, grandkids on the way, whatever the case may be, and just have real conversations.
Yeah, when I go out and deliver pies next week, I will guarantee you the majority of my conversations with people, the most I'll talk about real estate, they'll say, so how's your year been? And that'll be the end of it. We'll talk about other stuff, with it. But this is the time of the year the bears go into hibernation, realtors should not. And if you look at the roster board of those top 20 agents, I can assure you the majority of them will not go into hibernation. And that's why they'll be on that board next year. There's no question. there's people there, and I know it's around the office, that sheet. Go look at it. I know that sheet. Cravens is on that sheet. People of that capability. And the thing is that about 70% of that sheet, they're there year after year. And there's a reason why they are, is because of the consistency and discipline in their work. Yeah, that or they owe a bookie a lot of money and have to pay it off. One of the two. So,
Either way.
yeah, either way. So, okay, guys, we're coming to the end of it, and my pain medicine's wearing off. So, is there anything else I can answer or guide on whatsoever? Okay. Well, y'all have a great day. Keep making calls, and I will see you later on.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thanks.
All right.
Thank
Right.
you.
See you.
Thanks,
All
David.
right, thanks, David.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lunch.
I don't think you're breaking it this time. They didn't say anything about it.
It's just us.
Yeah, hey, this is Craven's Doggett with Trinity Commercial Real Estate. And good. I don't know if you saw my text or not, but anyway, I just wanted to follow up and see if you had any more interest in 400 Lively Avenue
Yeah.
in Norcross.
Yeah, I can just regulate, there's an address that I'm near, right, feel right.
So is this one?
Yeah, I use.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, I'm glad you're on that route. Yeah, and I've got a lender, a broker lender, so
Yeah, that'll take-
I could send over to you if you need that.
Right, what are you gonna do?
Okay.
Okay, I'll send that to you right now. What other properties are you looking at?
Right, MLS touch.
Okay, I got you. What are y'all using it for? I don't know if that's gonna be the best place for it. I mean, you can do what you want with it, but this is 400 Lively Avenue. It's kind of in an industrial
Yeah, you can get in here.
space.
Search.
Steal something like her.
Just making your my address.
My address.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you're looking for something for jewelry, then yeah, this is probably not the spot because the traffic count is very minimal and it's more of an industrial location, so.
This is funny.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, all right.
Who's that? Must be friends.
What in the world?
Oh, wait, that's.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, right here. When you go to that MLS page on your computer, or whatever, it says right here, welcome to exclusive MLS touch. See that one?
Oh,
Yeah. That one right there. Yeah. And they're doing live demos. And the platform,
Put it on to reviews.
Yeah. And that could put you in touch with your one home.
Actually,
plan
maybe
portal.
that's
You add your
more,
pictures to it.
because she's tried that.
I haven't used it yet, but-
Oh, really? Normally, I would think she,
You know, usually.
probably just give them, but.
Yeah, all my contacts are in here.
Price per square.
Yeah. that's-
So what is it?
Search.
It moves, I mean.
She doesn't have to do
Yeah. Pull that over too. I just logged in, you saw it.
The solar neighborhood, and they got her valued at like $92,000.
Yeah, I just went and logged in, gave me all my contacts.
When you set up.
You log in,
That's
yeah,
gonna be a
you click on
stretch,
that.
you know, I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have an FML?
Yeah, yes.
Like I have some friends that have lots of their field that live in the neighborhood, but I think she might have it.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you go into your, like, your matrix,
Sophisticated.
then, you know, here's contacts.
Do they feel,
And then when I,
you just
then I,
throw out
that's
some
where I put all
information
the
on
contacts.
price per square foot, whether it's even valid or whether it's even good information or not.
I, you know, maybe.
I mean, I was.
I just asked, like,
looking at all
I'm
like
a client,
solar
if my client would have had you
since
in.
the beginning of last year.
Yeah,
And they may have to say, oh,
exactly, yeah.
dude, whatever, you know, even through there. I've got
Yeah.
her price per square foot value at like $7.90.
There might
Oh,
be,
but
It might be a little
people
low,
that
but
it
even
doesn't,
at that, she,
doesn't know who is the
she shouldn't be at 9.2.
family member.
Right.
You know, that part, like, I don't want them on that.
exactly,
Best way to get, kind of do it,
yeah, I mean, I think I just kind of,
because I don't have that means.
yeah, I just kind of clicked on here, just, it's like
Oh, I see.
3 pages, 4 pages of it, so yeah, it'd be nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, like I said, I should add them all in here.
So if you, it asks, I want using that.
Yes, that's why, yeah, so it doesn't constantly run.
So yeah, so there's several more listings in that.
Send notification.
There could be now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because they have to get out.
Right, it's stupid
Right.
stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Then you're gonna select Georgia,
They really see.
and you're gonna select the first name on that, MLS. Yep. And this is where you're gonna log
Just
in,
doing a list. of
whatever
everything.
you're logging in. That's-
These, it can be that bad.
Yep. And then from there, it's just
They're only
gonna
like
give you this page,
something, but get a couple of
it's
them.
gonna give you that page.
Now I'm like.
Search.
okay.
And we'll let searches, you can do save searches, advanced searches, but just go down here to search. And that'll give you where
It's
you are.
hard. It's kind
where
of
you
hard.
put in that address, if you know you want.
Deal with that kind of headache.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
It's awful.
Okay.
That was one of the things when I said my friend.
Right.
The seller asked her for a review, it's like, can you believe you
Right.
never have to deal with
And
this
the phone
again?
You believe actually something that you doesn't have.
Right.
You
said she lives in Athens, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, I got you. Yeah, this one looks like it's gonna be much better. I haven't even used it yet, so.
Thank you,
No,
but
you-
they do it to me all the time.
Of course they do.
Thank you. so
You are so welcome.
Maybe one.
We're done, yeah, we're just making phone calls. That was just this mastermind, you know, we're in here, figured why
So did you want to eat lunch?
He's
not. Okay, I'm here, yeah, yes.
He's not
Hey, nice to meet you.
Oh, I-
There you go, this is.
That makes no sense.
It's like talking to my mom. It's like, hey, mom, you wanna go get lunch? And the people came to the store and we all left together.
There you go. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, how about that lunch?
Maybe now, try it.
So I was asking you if you wanted to get some lunch, yeah, that's what I was asking.
Oh, not cares.
Who are you inviting
Yes,
first?
no.
Oh, okay, good point. I deserve that.
Still be recording.
Yeah.
I'm in constant fear of being recorded now.
I say this room.
Everybody in this room is saying yes.
Yeah, Cravens, I got in trouble for fighting somebody at lunch.
No, you did? Huh? I've never actually gotten in trouble for doing that.
Well, you would have if you'd invited.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna cut you off too.
So now they don't trust me.
oh, well, that's first for everything. Speaking of that, I'm gonna go Have lunch with some friends.
Awesome.
Don't check my tires on your way out.
I mean, I just happened to see it, you know what I mean? And, so it wasn't like I was patrolling. Oh, wow.
No, no. It was funny. No, that's important to know. I mean, shoot, you want the tire blowout on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to go have maintenance done on my car, but.
I just got all new tires on my
Like if you
car.
go on the highway, like you were talking about, like,
Yeah,
that's what it'll do.
yeah, I just had to get all new tires on my car. And yeah, so I was super worried about it.
Yeah, Amy did, you know, my wife, and she's like, tires aren't cheap.
No, it's
No,
not.
oh my
It sucks to have
gosh.
to do it, but
It's like
it's
a
better,
minimum of.
it's better than blowing out on
$12.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when you look at it like that and say, well, I just saved myself like $10,000 worth of damage, it's a deal.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyway, all right,
Bye, Craven.
Have a good
see
day.
you later.
See you, man.
We're having a meeting next Tuesday, right?
Thanks, I'm sure that we are. I think they just did a celebration 2 weeks early because a lot of people.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people won't be there, but.
Why? Call me Carrie.
One of Harry's clients that you're.
No. Hopefully I can. I can go back and see what I texted.
Did you like the price?
I don't know.
It's perfect.
Well, I sent her, all the things that I told you that I asked the owner for the one thing for.
Yeah,
And then I said, we've emailed, the agent for the other property you sent me the other day. I'm just waiting to hear back because it's being sold as land. We're curious about the condition of the building. And she was like, well, if it's being sold as land, never mind. And I said, we'll see what we hear back. And then I texted her that picture and she's like, this is nice, but she'll pass. I'm like, did you actually even send it to Andrea or your mom, or you just?
Yeah.
Cause I don't think Andrea's coming back into Georgia until December. You haven't even met her, right, the sister? The one that actually makes all
No, she wasn't there. There's a fucking vape shop on every corner. And nobody will let you put a vape shop in.
You know, so it needs to put in the base.
I need 2 vape shops, I got clients in vape shops. Nobody's.
Well, did you not tell them that there's one on every corner and they probably didn't know different?
That's the business they want.
What is going on here? I can be answering for you. This one is fine.
All right, what do you mean? You're lucky I put on the 80s, not the 70s.
Yes, thank you.
You want 70s, you want 90s, let's just meet in the middle. Yeah.
So far out of the. Let's see, 3, 4, 5. So far out of the 25 people that I've texted at it, Carrie's database and introducing myself as her team member. And the little blurb that she gave me, nobody has responded.
Yeah.
This song always reminds me of the Coneheads movie.
What maybe?
The Coneheads movie.
The cone.
The daughter liked this song.
So Quinn's, well, she bought, people aren't out of it yet. They
Right.
do.
Oh, after temporary occupancy though? Have they said anything?
Yeah, no, I've been talking to her, and so her biggest thing is, I mean, obviously, if we wanted to pursue it, we have $500 a day written into the contract,
Right.
right? So as of right now, so here's the deal, it's a divorce situation, and ex-husband is like, you can tell she's super frustrated. She's the only one that was on the deed, the wife. But I think she had to pay him some money at the sale. Anyway, but when you go to that house, when we would go to the house for inspections or anything like that, he was always there. He was
So
always
he's
there.
in there, is she there?
Yeah, she was there too, but he was always there, like out working part of the driveway or out the backyard. He was always interjecting himself. Like everyone, the listing agent was frustrated because she's like, yeah, everyone says, oh yeah, we got Josh. She's just like, get in the house. This guy had literally like crap everywhere. Like just junk, like the termite inspectors couldn't inspect because of all the crap in the garage and all this stuff. So Quinn's thing, she went by yesterday, and she called me and she said, because they had said they could buy at 2:30. And she went by and she told me, she's Sandy, there's still stuff everywhere. And she goes, I need them to get all this stuff out. Like, she didn't even care about the $500 a day. She just wanted to get the crap out. And so that, after Bold yesterday, I was like, the listing agent is worthless. She doesn't want to be involved. And so I'm dealing directly with the seller now.
Right, she's like, I got paid on that.
And she's frustrated. She's super frustrated. I can tell. So the last thing I want to do is like, hey, look, you owe us $500 a day. I just keep telling her, I'm like, look, the most important thing is that Quinn wants it all cleaned out. And Quinn wants me to talk to her because Quinn's not confident with her English.
Right.
Right? So, normally I wouldn't just be dealing with the seller directly, but, they were trying to talk to each other and Quinn's like, I just don't know, Supposedly the guy's there with a trailer and he's getting it cleaned out and the seller's been keeping me updated. And because they were supposed to be 1:00 today. And, Jan, congratulations on ALC, since David told you out me.
Good job, David.
I was waiting for the office to actually announce it.
Did they do the handoff already on?
Yeah, it's for 2024.
Yeah, no, but they have like a handoff meeting.
Oh, I know we have a thing in, we have an ALC thing in Atlanta on, December 13th, and then we have a retreat in January. I'm not sure when the official handoff happens.
Daughter's birthday is what she did. Yeah, it's still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be in this meeting in Atlanta all day. Alexander House. I'll be doing that. Anyway, so she texted me this morning, the seller, and she's like, hey, I'm sorry. She goes, I just talked to Josh, and I don't think everything's gonna be cleared out by 1:00 today. And I said, and I hate to even say it, she said, I hate to even say it, but is there any way we could have, meet tomorrow? And I said, yeah, I just appreciate, I don't want anybody to waste their time.
Right.
Like Quinn went over there yesterday, it was wasting time. I was on my way there after Bold, and then Quinn called me, and that's what she said, no, it's still a mess, and blah, blah, blah. And she agrees, she doesn't want to waste her time or anybody else's time to go in there if it's not ready. The other thing I've always heard about, like trying to get the temporary occupancy money, is basically have to sue them for it. There's nothing that, unless you just threaten and say, hey, you owe us $1,500 because it's been 3 days. It's gonna be.
Yeah, because I mean, technically it's still her property. I mean, was her property, so it was her contract, but is there a way to hold him responsible for it?
Well, it's definitely it's Quinn's property. She's closed on it. She owns it. And we have a contract that says that she owes us $500 a day. They stay after 1:00 yesterday. So each day at 1 o'clock, we take out another $100 or $500. But it's the enforcement of it that's difficult.
Right.
I have your autograph. Like, oh, yeah. It's funny.
Yesterday, I was doing an open house for her listing.
This
And
weekend.
we talked a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I was like, it's Thanksgiving week. I was like, I don't know how much I said, if I don't have anything on the 2nd of December. Or whatever that Sunday is. Then I'll be happy to do it, but I may have other open houses, because I think Kieran has listing going live.
Yeah.
And Cam, if he doesn't go under contract on his before it goes live, then I might have another one there, Cam. Every time he says I can have an open house, he goes under contract.
Oh.
In like 0 days.
Well, add me to your list of people to do open houses too, Cam, if Rachel's not available. I would,
And drive to Peach Street City.
I mean, you're the people that are not doing them.
yeah, no, I don't wanna drive to Peachtree Street. I do have a geographic, limit.
What's that?
What's
the
his
limit?
name?
Peachtree City. Actually, no, Peachtree City's not that bad. It's,
And then it's coming up after that. Noon coming up after that, we probably won't do a,
open house for that.
bonus up there.
I haven't actually ever been to Noonan, but I've heard it's really nice.
Noonan is very, sectional, I guess.
Like a really nice area.
Yeah, like super nice, big area, awesome. And it's like, if they take Swanee Town Center and have that awesome little area, then take Old Buford and put it next to it, like where Still Fire is. And then you go down, a block, then you're gonna have another gated community with $1 million homes on 3 golf courses. Then you go over on the other side, it's one big huge ass trailer park. It's so,
Weird.
yeah, and it tried to grow. I mean, there's a place down there called Summer Road, it's like their biggest, development. It's really, that's a nice area.
The cancer center's there.
Yeah, big cancer center there. Then you go down a little bit and you're like, lock doors. But it's got some,
I heard the downtown area is really cute.
yeah, they redid that. Like the house that I will have it'll be next year probably. With the tornadoes ripped through there and like the high school stuff, it came through this guy's backyard, it did some damage to his house. So we got that insurance money and stuff.
Right.
It didn't fix up the fucking house.
Oh, God. And what's wrong with it?
It's just, let me see, it's a basic 3-2
I
range.
mean, from the tornado, what happened to it?
Nothing, just some roof damage that did get repaired, but then they gave the money that he could have used to update the kitchen.
Yeah,
floor,
that's some things with it.
Didn't do it. Took the money, so it's like the white laminate countertops.
Yeah.
The LVP is okay, but he's a guy, he's on military disability, so he can't like really deep clean his house and get down and, do the cleaning. So when I was there, I was like, let me go to the restroom before I leave, and I'm like, well, that's it, we cannot sell I can't list your house. I said, and he's fixed income, he's like, I can't afford to have someone clean it. I said, I'll find somebody that can pay it close, but we gotta clean this thing. I said, I need you to get your family down here and scrub.
Yeah, you can't sell a dirty house, you just can't.
And he's just like, oh, and I was like, I know, I went to high school with the guy, I think, I felt bad. But like, I'm sitting there telling him his baby's ugly, and I'm like, but he's ugly.
And that one's a Noonan.
Yeah.
And that's why you wouldn't be doing an open house for that one.
Yeah.
I am getting a little hungry.
I put it out there, you know.
What are you doing? You,
I'm working.
you hungry?
No, I'm not. I upped my doses today, so no, I'm not.
Are you doing a Sunday?
Semi-gluten diet, but yes.
Does it make me sick, make me
No.
nauseous?
Nope.
I have a friend that just started it. Well, she started a while back, but she's been, I think she said she was going up to. I may get the doses wrong, but she's going up to 40
Yeah,
That's
what I
high,
took today.
this week.
I took 40 today.
She was going up to 40 this week, and she says it does make her sick.
But I was, I'm on week 7.
That may be where she is too.
Yeah, so I just took 40 today. And
Here for chiropractor, she like.
that's what I've done. There's a
You
place
can
right
get it
there,
anywhere.
underground.
You did it at Publix though.
This is where I was saying, when Marlon Motor, she's the one that got me.
Yes.
She did all that. She- Yeah, I give my own dose, little vials and needles and stuff. And it started off at,
Can you give yourself a shot?
yeah,
Yeah, my friend said she can't give herself a shot, so I'm like, I think I can totally give myself a shot.
oh yeah, the needle is so teeny tiny, you don't even
Yeah.
feel it, right there.
It's mental.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like, it wasn't a big deal, like you say, I can go in there every week if I wanted to, for them to do it, they would give it to me, no problem.
Excuse me.
Only thing it did for me about week 2 and 3 is like it made me very tired, like I couldn't hold my eyes open. So that's when
You said
B12.
you had that one week where it was higher.
Yeah, when I jumped the dose a lot and I was just like, ooh, I didn't feel good.
Were you supposed to do that?
Yeah, but I gave myself 4 than I should have, I think.
she said she has a prescription for Zofran, the anti-nausea medicine.
But all I do now is like I take B12 shots. Or go buy the little
That helps.
powder, yeah, that's perfect. My cravings have kind of gone down. I haven't had pizza in forever, which is my thing. All my shit's starting to get big on me finally. So
So much shopping time.
it is so much shopping time.
Nice.
But-
Yeah, all my clothes are getting too small for me. I'm on the opposite right now.
But it's still, it's like, I can't drink beer on it,
I haven't had worn in a long time.
but I can't drink beer on it. Yes, they said not to. I can drink my makers, I can have my liquor.
Why did they say not to drink beer? I'm wondering.
Is it carbs and carbonation?
I don't know. They just said people they've had a lot of people getting sick from it.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
wonder if it's the yeast or
it could be.
something.
I was like, I don't want to do that because what they're trying to do is, it's trying to, what it does is it kind of slows your digestion down, like in your stomach, like it breaks down in your stomach. So you feel more full longer, so you're not eating as much. And, but I mean, your bowels and everything work as they should, but it's just gonna slow the process down in your gut. And as it's doing that, it's shrinking, your muscles and trying to bring your muscles and everything down. So it will eat your fat. It will attack your muscles if you don't work out, but they said you gotta get past that point. They told me not to work out for a while.
See, she's been working out. My friend's been working out. She's been in Orange Theory, so she's.
Yeah, they told me not to work out at first because they wanted to regulate it, because when you work out, you're craving more, you're hungry more, you're throwing in all this, tons and tons of protein back in your system. And I guess maybe it could be individually, but I mean, I had a lot of weight, I still do. But
She's got some. She's actually, I bet a doctor wouldn't have given her the medicine, a chiropractor did.
Or what does a chiropractor even test for?
I don't know. So medical doctor wouldn't have given her the medication.
You never know.
yeah, when I went in there, because I just walked in there and I said, I want to talk about this weight loss. And they said, okay. Fill out this whole questionnaire, did all this stuff, and then they said, you got these different options. You're perfect for it. I said, good, because I already had Bojangles for breakfast. What's it gonna do now? And they're like, okay, you're not gonna want to have Bojangles for breakfast anymore. It's like, oh, good.
Step one.
Yeah, exactly. Step 1, but we're just gonna go ahead and give you, we'll administer your first shot today.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So they gave me my first shot and my first shot of B12, an actual shot in my butt, and then now it's They sent some home. I got 4 shots home with me, but
Wondering why. How are you?